Friends, how are you doing? Morning, day, afternoon, wherever you find me, yapping my gums here. I appreciate you really clicking on the video. I really do appreciate that. So, once again, just going over SoFi, where it's at right now. I still think SoFi is on definite track to do something very special here for people in the short moment burst. And long term, obviously, I am holding anchoring in here very much so. I want to talk about Applied Digital. Applied Digital is doing what I wanted it to do. It's selling off. And why I say that is because I wanted to see what this stock can get down to. What is the new low? The stock has gone crazy. We'll talk about it. But and today, obviously, we're going to have more earnings. The biggest one today, obviously, in one of the seasons here with earnings is going to be Tesla. Tesla will report earnings today. But I think the majority of everyone right now is thinking that, it's going to kind of be like the last earnings. We're not expecting a lot because even Tesla, Elon has said this, like, hey, Tesla right now is going through this shift of what is coming here for the next, generation of Tesla itself. So with that, there's going to be many earnings today and, before market and after market close here. So it's going to be a jam-packed day of what's going on. And two, obviously, Friday is a big day because this will be inflation report. This will be the CPI inflation, and two, we're going to hear from the feds and we'll see if they say anything about rate cuts the next week, but more than likely we know we're getting these rate cuts. Friends, I hope you're doing well. Really do mean that. Let's go right into Applied Digital, and I just want to talk about what's going on here. So the last time I talked about Applied Digital, in these two lines here, this is kind of where my safe zone was, and when you follow this safe zone out, you track it out here, it's right above that $34. And right now, Applied Digital has sold off to $32, and it's still really high compared to where, my question to myself right now is like, can Applied Digital get back into a high $20 position here? Can we get back? Will we see a 27, 28, even 29? Obviously 26, I don't know, that may be pushing it, but 29 to 27 I think is possible, but there's only gonna be so much more time here of this market that sells off. I think we all are in agreement, especially like after Friday, we'll see, what kind of damaging news comes out here, but the market will pick up the pace here. If not this week, next week, it's coming here regardless. I mean, even the Jamie Dimon crew, BlackRock crew. I watched a bunch of interviews the past 2 days here, and they're pumping what they think's coming here. They're talking about the market's gonna. Everyone essentially is on this past 7,000 point range for the S&P 500. I mean, it's not just a Tom Lee thing anymore. It's like, okay, we're close enough, and we've still got a good chunk of time left in the market for the rest of the year. Definitely could be in some major push here the last two, essentially 60 days, hard 60 days of the market here. So yeah, I mean, Applied Digital, this stock has aggressively grown this year, and the stock obviously, but the company too. I mean, the inner workings of this company are many different tier level situations going on right now. Obviously, the company itself really advancing and pushing into earnings. I mean, crazy earnings right now. With that, we've seen them partnerships building on, aggressively, physically growing as a company. And now you have them very much in this moment of investors are looking, they're getting popular. I mean, the stock, the share prices, this may be one of the best stocks I've ever called in my own personal life with, stocks. I mean, I was yapping my gums about this stock last year when this thing was like $3, $4, $5. And I could have never dreamed where we would be right now. But this is how fast things are moving in the market, and where people's minds are right now. It's pushing into this next layer of tech AI. If I had said in January, which I probably did, I probably yapped my mouth about it, but in January, if I had said, data centers are going to be so sought after in the market, they're going to be this thing where they're just going to they're going to takeover. They're going to run to crazy numbers. I mean, if I had said Applied Digital was going to be almost a $40 stock, and in January, December of last year, I mean, people would have said I was crazy, and they have. But, this is where we're at right now. There is becoming this new demand with AI stocks. Okay, so it's such telling of what's coming here in 2026. So even looking back, I mean, man, I'm thinking about it right now. It makes so much sense because around October, November of 2024 here, you could see the shift happening. You could see a shift happening in the market. 2024, most of that year was wrapped up with NVIDIA, chip stocks, AMD, even the physical manufacturers of the chips. Okay, that was kind of taking up everyone's, mind, focus, everything. But we started to see this shift start to really take place at the end of the year with software security stocks. And this is where Big Bear, this is where Palantir, this is where, a lot of these Palato, CoreWeave, things like this start to get a lot more attention. Anything to do with like cybersecurity, these stocks, companies started to get a lot of attention. Okay, now, I mean, it's like clockwork. We're back in October 2025 here. We're going into November. We're starting to see the shift going into next year. We're wrapping up the year here. Now, this year is very different. This has been a very aggressive year in the market. And two, at the last moment of the game here for the market, we're looking at two rate cuts off the last one by the end of the year here. So this is wild place to be for investors. This is why this 7,000 point range S&P 500 seems so attainable at this point. But Applied Digital here is, I look at this and I go like, how much more aggressive is this going to get? And I do think it's very safe to say with these quarterlies they do their quarters a little different. They kind of come out in clumps and they do them ahead of time, how they do them. But if they release more of these quarterlies that we will see here, if they are still pushing in this $60 million range, or even, I mean, my God, if they push into 70 million, within the next, phase of quarterlies, my God, this stock is going to hold this $30-$40 position where it's at. It could get even more aggressive because it's not so much the stock. It's not so much what you're, you see what's happening here. It's not the share price compared to the revenue. What you're getting at right now, it's similar to a Palantir thing. The quarterlies are growing so aggressively. Not only that, the company is growing aggressively. There is a lot of want and talk and conversation around Applied Digital right now. So I look at this as something very special. This went from I'm pretty sure this stock's going to work in the future. I'm pretty sure this company is going to continue to work, not knowing how aggressive it was going to get this year. I was calling Applied Digital here to like $15-$20. We are way past that at this point. Okay, we're way past that. So, I'm curious to see, is this the bottom? Is this the bottom? Where we are right now with this 32 and some change here. It's a new place. It's hard to call it because we have sell-off here, but we have not seen an anchor be thrown out. How long can we play around this low 30? I would fully expect if the market kind of, is tippy-topsy here the next, for the rest of the week. I don't know. We're in earnings. There's drama. There's all kinds of things filtering into the market on a daily basis right now. So, an Applied Digital that we're talking about here is in this whole new share price position. This is totally nuts where the stock is at right now. It's amazing for people that have been in it, but it's very, I think a lot of us are going like, is this thing gearing back up, or are we kind of like, okay, we're going to take a breather right here? For me personally, for the stock price, I need to see more time. I need to see where this thing can really fight. Where's the fight right now? Is the fight anywhere from 27 to 32? That's a big ballpark of price action, but I'm very curious to see, where is the new level right now. So either way, it looks like Applied Digital here is going to have a very interesting year into 2026. That is one thing that I think most of us will agree on right now. If this company is already doing this fantastic, finding this new money, finding this demand on their company, the stock, everything, and having this good faith with investors at this point, this is going to be a very hot stock, for the next moment in the market. So yeah, it's really interesting. I'm becoming quite obsessed with Applied Digital right now. So that's Applied Digital. Very, very excited about that. Very excited. And friends, just to talk about SoFi, I don't want to repeat myself too much, but obviously main thing, bullet points right now. Okay, quarterlies for this will be on the 28th, okay? And those are going to be probably, we're hoping, obviously, fingers crossed, we're expecting them to be great quarterlies, the biggest they've reported, okay? Next, the rate cut, the 29th, the next day. That's when the Feds will be talking, and more than likely, we're going to see that rate cut. And two, I think it's pretty safe to say this rate cut is coming. Like I said, I was watching JP Morgan people today, BlackRock people. They're all publicly saying at this point the Fed needs to do another rate cut. It doesn't matter that they haven't seen the job reports. It doesn't for September, nor will they probably see them for October, from what it looks like. They just need to they need to do it. It's another 25 basis points is not that big of a deal. It's not gonna break the bank at this point. So with that, the market will react. The market will react 100%. It seems very, I guess I would say, unfair for what's coming here. SoFi is trying to get back to this $30 position, and it is very stable right now, playing around this high $28. I think more than likely Friday will be very interesting to see how the market reacts to this news of the CPI report. I don't know why I keep calling it that. CPI. I'll be very interested to see what happens there. But next week is the week, and that is going to be very aggressive. I would expect SoFi to touch where it's already touched. $30 and some change. Okay, we've been there. We've seen that. That could definitely come next week. It's really how aggressive are these quarterlies? What will the market react the next 3 weeks of these earnings, including this week? So it's 2.5 weeks. We'll just split it down the middle. And what is going to be the new top for SoFi? Is it $35? Is it $40? How aggressive can this next push be? This is a moment right now in the market. November is going to be very interesting because right now November is going to hold certain keys. I think the main conversation of November in the market will be, obviously, we're going to go through some kind of push here, okay? But two is, still got the government shutdown. What is going to happen with us and China tariff conversation? Is that going to be resolved? Is that going to just kind of linger still? The market will react to that 100%. So I'm very excited to see what we're getting into. Either way, that's a short burst moment for SoFi. Long term, I'm still holding on to SoFi 100%. They are killing it on earnings on every basis, from customer to revenue to partnerships to future what holds here, even talking about them in crypto, for God's sakes. Friends, I want to wish all you the best of luck. Be excited. This is an amazing time right now for investors. I mean, it's amazing time. I'll talk to you soon, friends. Bye-bye.